But the organizing work was always about, understanding the injustices of communities, and specifically for communities of color in LA. The biggest thing for me about building justice is the intersectional nature of it, right? I think that's the biggest piece that, as PMJ, we really kind of have embraced early and really kind of to work closely with our allies. That for community, things like environmental justice, housing justice, economic, you name it, health, transportation, housing, they don't happen in silos, they happen simultaneously. And so solutions have to be multifaceted.
I feel like it's still, in context, all that is completely 100% true, and yet it's still about people having choice. And choice means having choice in terms of transportation options, and then choice as to places we go. And freedom of movement to do that without fear of death, fear of imprisonment. Our current context is so screwed up that, now we're dealing with, issues of documentation and inhibiting people's ability to move and to even be outside. It's so important right now. Gathering is so important right now. Being together in community is so important right now. If you want to say there's an enemy for right now, that this enemy wants to isolate us. They want us to not see each other and not watch out for each other. When they isolate us, they can snatch us up and take us away. So we felt like there's real power in having our event. At the same time, doing it in the right way and making sure we were prepared to protect people was critically important. And so you saw the whole city take a moment, right? It wasn't just CicLAvia. You saw the counties, parks, events canceled, postponed. A lot of city events postponed. It was a lot of us all looking at our thing and being like, okay, wait, so how do we move forward?
Convening is a form of resistance too, right? And we're still very much about that. You know what I mean? Showing that we're not going to isolate us. Of course, we want to protect our folks. Part of the pivot has also been, supporting community that live in fear of getting groceries or getting medicine. There's a lot of mutual aid work that a lot of our allies are doing that we're supporting with delivery and whatnot, because that's what's needed, right? The training first got, that's what people were prepared to do that when the wildfires happened, right? And all that work is kind of pivoting to supporting communities during this moment.
I lean back onto a book that I read in my roaring 20s when I was a young activist, very wide-eyed and not as jaded as I am now. And the title was Days of War, Nights of Love. And that's been my motto lately. Thinking about the fact that, everything we're dealing with right now, even the folks on the other side, they're defining it as warfare. So I may as well lean into that. And we gotta fight fire with fire, right? And at the same time, I think about what I'm fighting for, and I think about the community that I love here, and I lean into it. From culturally being out and just going to great dance parties and seeing my people out in the streets trying to get to birthday parties, wedding, whatever joyous celebrations we're having, making sure I stay tapped in as much as possible.
Part of the joy comes in resistance, right? I think part of it too is we're not intimidated by this moment. As our community, we've been in a fight for a long time. I think being out and resisting that isolationism is part of the deal, right? But I think it's also kind of modeling what we mean with collective accountability. LA is a beautiful place because of the people that live here, right? Because of its diversity, because of its unity, it's unique in that way, right? And I think continuing that in the face of all this struggle is going to be